In this video, I'm going to give you a breakdown of the Forecaster Pro system and the strategy that we use. First, let's start with the main component, the FC current. It consists of 3 different currents. So you have the small current, the medium current, and the big current. Each current represents a different MA, moving average, and this is going to be your first confirmation to help you with your entry point. The next main component is going to be the Doppler radar, which is this indicator here, and it's going to act as the second confirmation to help you with your entries. So just understanding how to use the FC current along with the Doppler, together these are very powerful, and for some traders that may be all the confirmation you need. But if you're like me and you still want some additional confirmations and a couple of more confluences, then there are a couple of more indicators that you can use to give you those additional confirmations. But before we discuss those, let's talk about the little forecaster here, which is going to be your peak marker. So this indicator acts as a warning signal. When you see this pop up, of course the green at the peak low, you can anticipate a reversal to the upside. When you get the red at the peak high, you can anticipate a reversal to the downside. Now you have to be cautious with this indicator because it does repaint. But that shouldn't be an issue if you follow the rules of engagement. All right. So those are going to be the main 3 indicators that you want to pay attention to. This reversal sign, warning sign, your FC current, and the Doppler radar. Now, as I mentioned, if you're still looking for additional confirmations, we do have this cool little trend bar here, which is very helpful, especially if you're using multiple time frame analysis, because this is going to show you the trend across multiple time frames. So of course, if it's showing red, that means it's in a downtrend on that time frame. If it's showing green, that means it's in an uptrend. And then if it's showing yellow, that means it's consolidating, or some people like to say oscillating or ranging. So the best trading setups or opportunities are going to be the ones when you have multiple time frames aligned in the same direction. You know, when you can find those setups, you've just increased your chances of having a more successful trade. And then for the last confirmation, you have the FC buy sell prediction. This is probably the least important, but still, you know, if you want that last confirmation, you know, it's pretty good and it's pretty accurate. I'll just give you an example here. So you have both entry signals here, and we're going to discuss these in a minute. So you have both entry signals here. You check the Doppler. It also confirms the buy. And then if you come down here to this little prediction, the buy sell prediction, you can see right at the signal drop down here, it turns green. And if you follow it all, it's still green. All the way down here, you see it turns red, so the bears came in. And if you go up from that point, sorry, look at that, you have a sell signal right there too. Check the Doppler, it confirms the sell, and so does this indicator down here. So it just depends on, you can use all indicators for confirmations, or you know, you may find that you only need to go off the FC current and the Doppler. That's fine, to each its own, but they all work. And to me, the more confirmations or confluences, the better. But that's just me personally. All right. So now that we've covered the indicators, okay, so there's a couple more. There's just two more that I want to mention before I move on to the entry signals. So I won't go into details about the ADR high and low, but this is a helpful indicator. And the way that it works, it's the average daily range. And usually when price hits this ADR high or the ADR low, there is a high chance of a potential reversal as well. But it doesn't always work out that way, as you can see. Sometimes it will blow right through the ADR high and the ADR low. So these can be used as support and resistance as well. So that's something that you can keep an eye out for. Usually if you get these wicks, if it wicks to the ADR high or the ADR low, that's when you may get that reversal. All right, but we'll go more into detail about that. If you have questions about it, you can ask in the chat group and we can discuss that at a later time. But for right now, let's get to the last indicator. And I think this is going to be very helpful for a lot of traders, because I know just from talking to different traders and stuff, this is an area that a lot of people struggle with. They're not sure where to add those support and resistance zones. Well, we've taken care of that for you. We do have a auto support and resistance indicator that will plot those zones for you, starting at the 5-minute. You can see there's the 5-minute support there, and it goes all the way up to the monthly. So you have the monthly support here, and then you have the monthly resistance here. And the support and resistance levels are going to be key factors when you're looking for those perfect setups. So we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. All right. So let's talk about the two different entries that we look for. So the little red and green arrows, those are going to be your early bird entry. All right. So I'm just going to delete. Let's see if it'll let me delete. No, it doesn't let me delete that. So let me go back over here. All right. So I will break down the early bird entry for you. And this is a good example. This is the type of setup that I like to look for, because as you can see, you have the forecaster here, so you know that the reversal is coming. Price is at, the daily resistance, which is now acting as support. So these are going to be the best setups when you have price as some type of support and resistance zone. So if you have this warning, it gives you the head up, a reversal is coming. Now I will say this reversal signal does not have to always be present for you to get a good setup. And I will give you an example. Like this is a good buy signal. But as you can see, you knew this reversal to the upside was coming because you got the green little peak marker there. All right. But there are going to be times when this is not present. You will get a good signal, and you can use the currents as dynamic support and resistance. Those signals are really good signals too. But the ideal situation is going to be when the reversal has been established. So you know the reversal is coming. You get the early bird signal. And usually when you get the early bird signal, like this is for the sell, you'll also get the small current. which is going to be the smaller moving average, you also get this changing color. So this is going to shift. You can enter this for the sell because you have this engulfing bearish candle. So that's going to be a key. Don't just pay attention to the arrows. You want to get a nice engulfing bearish candle. You want the small current to change from uptrend to downtrend, which means change from green to red, and it would be safe to enter there. So if you would have entered here, you can see there's no drawdown at all. And if you come over here and you look at the same scenario for the buy, you got the early bird buy signal. You get a nice bullish engulfing candle that closed above. So you can go ahead and enter here. Again, zero drawdown. Okay. And so once you see these signals and you get those engulfing candles, you want to also pay attention to what is the Doppler doing. Okay, right down here, you got that blue line crossed above the red signal line. So the blue line is going to be your RSI price line. It crossed above, confirms the buy. Also, the green line crossed above the yellow market baseline, also confirms the buy. Now for the sell, you have, if you come down here, it confirms the sell right here. You have both lines crossing below the red and all three crossing below the yellow market baseline. So this is very, like I said, the Doppler is very powerful. So when you get that cross, that's a really good confirmation. The cross down for the sell, cross up for the buy. Okay, so again, that's going to be your early bird entry. All right, and you have to pay attention to what price is doing. So even though it's not recommended that you have to know everything about price action, if you have some basic knowledge of price action to go along with using this system, it's just going to help you get better results. All right, but it's not needed, but I will recommend to everybody, learn some price action. It will definitely help you in the long run. All right, so the next entry, the next signal is going to be what we call the sure shot signal. Now that's going to be the white arrows, and this is going to be the safest entry. So this will also produce 0 to very minimum drawdown. And again, you can confirm it. You always want to confirm with the Doppler. So your first confirmation is going to be what? The current. So for this buy, you can see they're all green. So you know we're in an uptrend here. All three currents are green. You got a buy signal. Now for the short shot signal, the white arrow, you're waiting for the small current to turn green, the second current to turn green, and then you're waiting for them to the small current to cross above the second current. And that's going to give you that perfect entry. Could have wrote that all the way up to this zone for 109 pips. Okay, and the same is going to be for the sell. So you already got the small current that turned red. You got the second one turned red, and then they crossed down. So you got your entry signal here, depending if you're scalping or, you know, how you want to set your TPs, you can take it all the way down to this MA right here for 38 points. I'm sorry, 38 pips. Or, you know, you can take it down to this third current here for 62 pips. Or you can swing it, hold it a little bit longer, take it down to here, the 800 for almost about 95 or 96 pips. All right. So again, the sure shot is the white arrows. This is going to be the safest entry. All right. So you're always waiting for that first current to change colors, then the second one, and then the cross down or the cross up for the safest entry. Now the way that we use this third current, let me see if I can find an example. So it's not really an example here. Okay, here's a good example. So the way that we use the third current. All right. So again, this is a good setup because you have this reversal signal here. You have price that is kind of ranging around this support or resistance level here. You got the MAs, the currents, that switched from green to red. So you got the early bird and you got the sure shot signals. So you got the cross down, so you know that you're in a downtrend. And so the way that we use this third current, the bigger MA, this is going to confirm the continuation of the trend. So even though it's down, you're still in an uptrend, you know, but you know it's reversing. It kind of went red, then it went green, and then, you know, it went red. So this definitely right here confirmed the continuation of the downtrend. All right, so that is something to be aware of. But the main two for your entries are going to be, you know, this current, the small current, and the medium one. So we'll just call it current 1 and current 2, and the big one is current 3. All right, so just hopping back. Those are the two entries that we look for. And again, this is just a brief explanation of the rules of engagement and what you want to look for to help you get those sniper entries. I do recommend reading the Forecaster Pro Strategy PDF file that comes with the download package. It does go into more details about the strategy. But I just want to give you guys an overview of the system and the strategy to show you how simple, you know, this is. It's very simple. I know when things are simple, we like to overcomplicate them sometimes. But with the FC Pro, there's really no need to overcomplicate anything because these currents are going to help you identify the trend. They're going to help you get those perfect entry points, eliminate drawdown, which I think are 3 areas that a lot of traders struggle with. So if that sounds like you and you want to improve those areas, I think you're really going to like this system. It was designed to help simplify things. So hopefully you're satisfied with your purchase. Hopefully you enjoy the system, and hopefully, you know, you get some good results. So make sure that you are in the Forecaster Pro Telegram chat group, because if you have any questions, that's the place where you want to ask your questions, so we can all help each other learn to perfect this system even better and get the most out of it. All right. So that was a brief overview of the FC Pro. Again, thank you for your purchase, and I will see you guys on the inside.